Hey Gen Xers, it's Gen X Elder GJ, Greg, here with another edition of Gen X Mindset to shamelessly self-promote the book I wrote and self-published just before Christmas 2025. It's called Timeless Truths, Hermetic Wisdom for the Gen X Journey, which started as a memoir and turned into a help self book that I wrote basically from a very dark place. I wrote from rock bottom, and it became kind of the basis. Rock bottom is something you build from, and that's what happened to me. So the book contains a lot of Gen X wisdom that I learned not from writing or reading. It was from living, living the experience of being a Gen Xer and told to do this, do that, and life will be just grand. And then all of a sudden, you reach a point in your life and you just say, what was that? What was that? Disillusionment, burnout, careers that fizzle, relationships that fizzle, and institutions that we are watching crumble as we speak right now in the year of 2026. So the book came about, as mentioned, from a very, very dark place. Once I started to learn more about psychology and hermetic principles, then things started to really turn around for me. Now, I just want to take a moment in this video to acknowledge one of the people responsible for this book, basically, and that's fellow Canadian Dr. Jordan Peterson, who I discovered back in 2018. I was at the beginning of a very dark place. My dad passed away in late 2015. We weren't close. He was very emotionally distant. I was a very sensitive child, but he was the last parent that I had. My mom passed away in 2008. I was very close with her, but my father, not so much. But after he passed away and I became an orphan at the age of 50, life started to kind of unravel and a spiral downward began that I needed to, pull myself up from. And that's where I discovered Dr. Jordan Peterson on YouTube. The videos were his earlier videos where he was just, up late at night, him and a computer, low production values, and just talking Q&A with some of his followers on YouTube about, picking up a load you can carry, or the meme, clean your room. And that resonated with me. He became more like the teacher that I wished I had in high school, maybe the older sibling that, would have been a little more beneficial to my, emotional stability growing up. Not like a father figure, because we're a little closer to age than that. So when I started learning more about Dr. Jordan Peterson's work, I stumbled upon his self-authoring suite. Now that's where I really want to talk about how this translated into writing a book, because I learned about journaling back in around 2001, writing a diary, but journaling really helped a dark place that I was in back in 2001 that I talk about a lot in the book. Now, self-authoring, it encourages you, it prompts you to write about your past, the good, the bad, the ugly, and write about it, and then, think about it, and then it encourages you to move to the next module and talk about the present, where you're at, where you thought you might be, where you wished you were, and just examine your life. And then from there, you start formulating a blueprint for the future in the future authoring program, where you don't want to be in 5 years, where you do want to be in 5 years. So in 2018, I wrote that, and then 2020 hit. I was doing pretty good up until 2020 hit. I got blindsided, like many of us did. Our blueprint, our futures basically got put on hold. Mine, I ended up being unhomed. Basically, my living situation changed to the point where I was basically without a place to live, but I had an RV at the time. I ended up in BC. That's really where this story begins. In BC in 2021, I hit rock bottom. But I had learned a little bit about the psychology and, writing, etc. Through Dr. Jordan Peterson. I'd stumbled upon videos by Carl Jung, world-renowned psychologist, individuation process, and just learning about self, capital S self. And that's really what I recommend in this book, is really to stop looking for external fixes and start looking into, self, and how you can, no one's coming to save you. At the end of the day, that's, one message that I will tell everyone. No one is coming to save you at the end of the day. Now, the Hermetic principles are worth a lot more videos, and we will go through a lot of those, because they are basically the the operation manual on how everything in the universe works. It's a pretty big claim, but I will follow up that claim in future episodes. But I was out of rhythm. I was out of the causes and effects of everything in my life started to make a lot of sense. And after the breakdown that I had in 2021, I reopened the self-authoring program and redid my blueprint for the future. Decided I wanted to move back to Ontario after living in BC, for 18 months of what was hell. So that was the beginning of a new plan. But after I turned my computer off, I was on Facebook and I saw an ad for another one of Jordan Peterson's ecosystems called the Big Five system. His is called Understand Myself, but it talks about the Big Five. We're talking a big Q&A, not like a BuzzFeed kind of question about what character and friends that you might be, and a quiz that's not going to make you feel good. It's not designed to do that. But what it talks about is, it examines your big five personality traits: openness, intellect, neuroticism, conscientiousness, and also your orderliness. How orderly are you? And I won't share the results because they are in the book, but let me tell you, I was shocked because it was the answers to a lot of the problems that I had had with relationships, with jobs that had no meaning, with just being unable to cope with a lot of the life, the stressors in life, my coping mechanisms, my trouble with authority figures. The list goes on. I thought, I thought I was broken. Meanwhile, I was just, operating with a different set of circuitry in a world that wasn't built for that sensitive, creative person that was told to, just get a job, get married, have kids, have a career, and, you retire, and then life is wonderful. Well, a lot of Gen Xers are waking up to that bullshit and just saying, wow, that really was not what we were promised when we were younger. And that's a lot of what this book goes into. So once again, Dr. Jordan Peterson was a central figure, and I do acknowledge him in the book. This is not a paid endorsement for his program. It's a self-authoring suite. It was $29 American. I think it's half price now. Same deal with, I think, the Big Five, the Understand Myself. Very highly recommend them if you want to learn more about self, because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you except yourself. But you also have to understand that you're more than capable, and give yourself a lot more credit than that. And that's what we're going to talk more about in this channel, Gen X mindset, just, how, disillusionment, but we're also going to have some fun with, I worked in the radio industry. I've worked in the film industry. I love music and nostalgia, and I've got some stories from the radio industry, also the film industry, that we'll have some fun with. But in the meantime, I'll leave a link in the comments down below if you're interested in picking up the book. It is available on Amazon through the paperback. It's a paperback version, and also the ebook. Now, the audiobook is in production. I'm self-producing that as well. The radio experience comes in handy. So that's today's episode of Gen X Mindset, an acknowledgement to look deep inside yourself and understand that you're not broken. If you've been through the burnout, maybe you're dealing with elderly parents, or you're wearing armor that put on years ago that you're having trouble taking off. That's what the book is about. That's what this channel's all about as well. So do me a favor, and if you found any value or want to learn more, give the channel a like, and leave a comment down below, or if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. In the meantime, we'll chat soon.